Hello everyone, welcome back to One for the Weekend podcast, the best podcast you've never heard of. Jose Mourinho's had a tricky week, isn't it?
Do you think that it's going to get to a point where we should start aiming higher than just saying this is, you haven't heard of this podcast but it's good, to just saying this is the best podcast?
We start thinking it. It's like, I think that's a good hook because do you think we should be aiming a bit higher, Flav? Fucking hell, that's real. That was real. That wasn't like a bit that we've just done.
It's on our...
His phone went off. Unbelievable.
Now
I'm a bit nervous about my one. Yeah, maybe.
All right.
But I think it's a good hook for people going, haven't heard this before.
Yeah.
And we're calmly saying, like a boxer saying, yeah, I am the best, I am the greatest.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
This is the best podcast you haven't heard of.
Yeah.
And now you're about to hear it, so you're welcome.
But how do you know if you haven't heard of any of the others? Like, there could be some greats out there.
Yeah, but that's why we're safe either way, because I haven't heard them yet. Bingo. Football patter coming. Jose Mourinho. He's had a
interesting week.
Tricky week.
Yeah.
I was reading something on The Guardian who was saying how it's interesting, like back-to-back weeks there's been viral ice rink videos out there.
So
Gemma Collins.
Okay, yeah.
First.
That was the greatest fall I've ever seen. And look, her existence has absolutely no bearing on my life at all. Like, it impacts me zero.
Yeah.
Except when she does stuff like that, and then she goes up in my estimation.
I struggle with her.
It's just the way her legs went like completely straight, and she just bounced off her massive tits.
Oh my god. She didn't. It's like it's like she couldn't get her arms up quick enough.
There was no reflexes.
Yeah.
There was zero because the natural babies, right? Babies, they have, I can't remember what the name of it. It's a scientific name, but they have a fear of falling. They have an instinctual reaction to falling because of their descendants from apes. Okay. And when they fall through trees, they grasp for branches to break their fall. Right. So a baby feels like it falls, it instinctively puts its arms out. But there's a name for it. Right. She didn't have it. She just fell. Yeah. And her arms were just like that. And she go, fuck, the tits will do. The tits will do it.
It'll be fine. Yeah, God bless her. But she rose up, didn't she? Thanks to Tyson Fury's incredible words and moments.
Yes, she goes up. So she said, when I saw Tyson Fury get up, it was like an inspiration. I had to get up.
Yeah, no, she said that in that moment, when she was on the floor, Tyson came to her and said, "Get up.
Yeah,
you've got to get up."
What did he say? What was his tweet back? It was the harshest.
No. Well, that was a fake account apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was like, "Oh, shut up, your dosser," or something like that.
Yeah.
It was something really, really harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But she did get up. But like, what? Is she not going to get up?
Yeah, she's going to lay there forever.
Just going to stay there for a bit. But the rest of the contestants are going to have to.
It's like Huddersfield this season, isn't it? It's just gone down, and they're not getting up, and they're not going to bother. They feel all right. This is me now. I'm lying on the ice, frigid. I don't know.
Incredible. Well done for bringing it back to football there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jose Mourinho out in Russia. I'm sure it was just a good deed, wasn't it? He just went, where should I go?
Yeah,
I need to do more media work. Let's head off to Russia and drop a puck.
On ice hockey. Like, what's he doing there?
He's making some money, and he's networking, I reckon.
In an ice hockey rink, or for jobs out in Russia?
That's a good point. Maybe jobs in Russia. Might fancy that. Might just want to go away and make a load of money. Also, I think it kind of, maybe I'm being unfair to Russians, maybe I've been brainwashed here. But I think
we can tell. We know Russia.
Yeah, I felt like they were a little bit brainwashed. Did you?
I felt like, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But they also felt that we were brainwashed, so that was interesting.
We are though, aren't we? We are brainwashed.
We all are. But I also feel like Mourinho's, he was Russian in a past life. He's got that, that Machiavellian kind of evil way at times when he wants to.
A steel to him.
And so maybe he's had a tough year.
So just to clarify there, you've called the entire Russian nation evil and Machiavellian.
I'm just saying the stereotypes that I'm aware of, that maybe Jose's aware of.
If you're aware of the stereotypes, you realise that there's no real foundation in it. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm saying
first the racism,
he might feel
now this.
First the racism?
Yeah, remember the racist mutterings we talked about last week?
Which you made up last week? Yeah, thanks for that. Right, let's get to the podcast. The other thing is he had his financial thing, which is like a rite of passage.
Yeah, you're not top level.
People.
You're not a top level figure in football if you haven't done some little bit of tax evasion.
I think there's like Modric and has he been done Modric?
Yeah, I don't know actually, but Ronaldo and Messi have, and so has Mourinho now.
They must have. There must be an element of that going. So when's your court date? Yeah, I haven't got one.
Yeah,
you haven't got one.
Oh, who are you?
You haven't got the fear of going to prison.
Do you know Brad Friedel once went bankrupt?
Did he? There's a lot of goalkeepers gone bankrupt.
Well, apparently 1 in 5 footballers of that era go bankrupt.
Really?
But his one's pretty bad because while most of them would have bought houses for their relatives and they'll have huge exposure to mortgages that they can't fund once the playing days have gone, he set up a soccer school to help people and it bankrupted him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Poor Brad Friedel.
Poor Brad.
This was during his playing career. So he went bankrupt
Is that why he kept
as
playing
he played.
so long?
Maybe, but
Probably.
yeah. Anyway,
interesting. More interesting chat like that in the rest of the podcast. We got some of your favourite bits. We've got a new bit as well. A bit more football chat this week, which I'm excited about. Also, footballers' wangs and a strange one-sentence Flames advice. All worth sticking around for. Where do we begin?
Can I begin?
Yeah.
With someone on Twitter has created a one for the weekend screenshots, which, I mean, it's quite niche. If you think of the amount of people that listen to this podcast, and then the amount of people that can understand what that is on Twitter, but I admire it because someone's doing something.
I totally appreciate that. Yeah.
What do you?
I do.
Do you because you haven't followed?
I do have some feedback.
Me and Rory.
I don't just follow anyone, Flav.
They've created something
you
about
follow
your
anyone.
product.
That's your thing. You're like, if I follow them, they'll follow me back.
I follow less people than you. This is a man. Should we talk about your Twitter strategy? Do you want to talk about that?
Strategy? I was young.
Let him know.
I didn't realise
Should we
what
let him know? Your way of building up followers was to follow thousands of people and then unfollow them.
And I don't do that anymore, and I apologise.
Because you've reached a position where people are looking at you now.
Yeah.
And I used to say to you,
so why are you doing it now?
I'm doing it because I appreciate the effort. They're admiring our work. So, therefore, give them something back.
I'll give them some back.
I thought it was
feedback. Yeah, I know. That. Here's some
spare time.
feedback. Can we turn these into GIFs? Screenshots? Can we aim higher? That's the theme of this podcast. Aim higher.
And they need.
I'd love a GIF.
Your thing is you want people to be the best version of themselves.
I do.
And they need captions as well. Otherwise, it's weird images of us.
Yeah, that is. You're really driving into that niche.
It's so niche.
But a lot of these people that are in our community, someone came up to me the other day going, podcast, fucking love it. I was like, oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, the one with you and Flav. He doesn't know the name then. I was thinking, fuck's sake.
What, someone come to you in public?
I was at QPR yesterday.
Really?
Who? Well, we'll talk about that later. Save that. Save that
right.
for later. But yeah, he didn't know the name of it. Which was one for the weekend, it's called. Couple of reasons to listen. Derek Hart says, absolute pair of fannies, these two. Got offer balance. Mark Williamson says, I love this. This is why you should listen to this podcast and watch it on YouTube and subscribe to Bull Street, because you can be in the comment section with people like Mark Williamson, not the snooker player. Oh, that's Williams. He went, just checking in. I will forever support this podcast. Simple, clean.
Wholesome.
Lovely. And Garrett has spoken. Garrett, the honorary president of Bull Street.
Yeah, Lifetime Achievement Award.
He got that as well, but that's not in his title. It says he just goes simply Garrett, honorary president of Bull Street. Just checking in, and there were a lot more just checking ins last week, so it's good. Good to know that you're all well.
Comments are up a lot.
Yeah, it was. And a lot of people just doing it for the algo, which I like as well. He said, been ill this week. Nothing but Netflix and soup for me for days. Jumped on YouTube, watched the pod on my phone while in bed. Cheered me right up. Great pod. More of that. So that's another reason, okay? That's the PR done. And now let's crash it down to earth. Tanver's on the ones and twos this week.
Hello.
Again.
Hello.
We'll probably get more comments about possible testing Tanvir players than any other thing.
Yeah.
I guess because it's simple, it's easy. So I've got quite a few for you today.
Cool.
First of all, someone who's getting a bit annoyed about...
If you don't know, just the new listeners to the podcast, Tanvir has been working in football media for the last 4 years, right? He's a Man United fan from London, and so it's kind of his little clue. And then his knowledge of footballers and where they might have played is as bad as my girlfriend, who started watching football 6 months ago.
Wow.
It's quite harsh.
So the most recent footballer he didn't know was probably Rafa van der Vaart or Robbie Keane.
Was there
Never heard of him.
Nearly didn't know what position Paolo Maldini played in. Knew
He
of
got
him.
defender though. He did get
Did
defender.
it was close enough.
So
All right, so we've got a few here, and the aim of it now is what's the most classical legendary player that Tanvir doesn't know of?
I'm going to predict he will get one of these.
Okay.
One of them.
Well, I've got quite a few here.
1, 2, 3.
How many are there?
There
I've
are.
added one. I've added the comments.
All right, then
Bear
go
with
through them quickly.
me. Okay, right, Tanvir. Who is the player, and where does he play? No sweeteners on this one. This is from Hugh Sluiskant. Where are you from, Hugh? No sweeteners on this one, James, you teddy bear. Commented last couple of weeks. Seems an oversight on your end to miss my staunchers. We'll continue suggesting names incrementally, adding another every week until you give them the shout-out they deserve. The first one is Sylvian Wiltord.
No chance.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Next.
So what's bad? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. Well, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
He was only a legend in the Invincible team not 15 years ago.
You ask me whether I think he's going to get it, and then we'll see.
Okay. Pavel Nedved.
No chance.
No. Don't know who that is.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Won the Ballon d'Or, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Juventus legendary midfielder.
I'll keep that in
I love
mind.
this little ego trip for you. You've slowly muscled your way in for it.
I'm just trying to educate him.
Sure. Hernan Crespo.
No, you won't.
Hernan
Get
Crespo.
it. No, you won't get it.
I don't know who that is.
Next.
This is not going well so far.
Right. Celestine Babiaro.
No.
No.
Come on. Right. Shafir Butt asks, he goes, ask the voice if he knows.
The voice.
Kevin Keegan, we've done that before.
Yeah.
You did know him. Brian Robson. Flav, do you think he'll know this one?
No.
Yeah, Man United midfielder.
Oh! That's quite good.
Thank
Although it is the
goodness.
club that he belongs
Yeah,
to.
Yeah.
it's because I support Man United.
Go on in.
Ruud Gullit.
I know he's Dutch. But I don't know.
That's the worst one.
I'm
That
not
is the
sure.
worst one.
Rude.
Ruud Gullit.
I know he's Dutch.
That's the worst one.
He
That's
just
the
had
worst
Ruud
one.
as in
You
Ruud
don't
van
know
Nistelrooy.
Ruud. You don't know Ruud Gullit is. Did he have any distinguishing
I've
features
seen
when he
him.
was playing?
He's got dreads.
Okay,
I've seen him on FIFA.
Oh.
Great, yeah. Fucking hell. You know what you need? You need a fucking match annual. That's what you need. Rivaldo
Yeah, Barca midfielder.
and Dennis Irwin, which I think we've done before.
Yeah, Man United defender.
Okay, good. All right. Overall, shocking. If you want to test Tanvir, let us know in the comments below.
Wasn't bad
It's
at all.
not good, mate.
Have you heard of Maradona?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, only because he's a mess now. Big
World
weekend
Cup,
of fixtures.
Argentina.
Huge weekend of fixtures.
Any derbies?
Thank you everyone who got involved on Twitter at James Alcott double T. If you want to get involved, I post every week. It's probably my most impressive tweet of every single week, and it's allowed me to just follow people I like now.
And if James follows you, just check again in a week.
Oh.
Yeah, and if Flav follows you, don't think it's special because he follows everyone. Will Marsh, he spotted that there's the Fulham versus Man United game, and I like this one. Is the Van der Sar derby?
Van der Sar derby. Very good. Why is that good?
Why is that good, Tanvir?
Tanvir?
Van der Sar and Saha.
Well done. Both play for Man United.
Yeah.
So you should know that. Tottenham versus Leicester. That's the we think we're above the FA Cup, but really we aren't, and we should have tried to win it. Derby.
No, we shouldn't.
Very true from Joe Arsenal.
Oh, Joe Arsenal. Brilliant. Brilliant. Are we going to talk about that?
What? You can talk about that. Well, yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about the FA Cup.
Everyone
Yeah.
talk-
We can talk about the FA Cup. Sure.
Did you beat?
If you want to.
Did you beat?
Up to you. I don't need to talk about it.
Did you
He
beat-
does.
There's only one reason he wants to talk about the
I don't
Europa
want to talk
Cup.
about
Did
it.
you beat Portsmouth?
We beat fucking Portsmouth
What was
last
the score?
night.
Cheeky
2-0.
Did you go, Jim?
Yeah, mate. Me
Did you
and
go
Dad were
mental?
there. We're like QPR smiles all over the shop.
And what's the QPR smile?
Which was when you pull someone's
Punch.
opposition, obviously not in my own lot, and give them a little slap on the bum. That's what us QPR hooligans do to let people know.
So you're still in the FA Cup?
Still in the FA
Who have
Cup.
you got next round?
We've got Watford at home.
They're
Can we win that?
Yeah.
Do you know what everyone says when I say it to them? They go, "It's doable."
Yeah.
It's fucking doable, mate.
That'll be the sixth round.
Then the sixth round. Do you know what I realised? I said it on my pod yesterday. There's so many rounds in the FA Cup. I had
there's
no
a lot.
idea.
And then it's quarterfinals, then semi-finals.
Yeah.
You got away.
Mate,
Yeah.
there's a lot of championship clubs in that
Yeah,
tournament
yeah.
still.
Could go all the way.
Do you know what I'm really worried about? And he'd have to take a day of annual leave and come on the ones and twos. Because Brentford have got Swansea in the next round. So they could win that. We
Ooh.
could beat Watford. And what I'm really worried about is us having
Brentford
in the quarterfinals for a semi-final place.
Listen to him.
Out of all the
He's
teams
thinking about. He's so worried about quarterfinals.
Well, no, it's on the horizon now, isn't it?
Do you know why there's so many Championship clubs in the FA Cup? Because it's Tin Pot.
Well, how's it Tin Pot? Were you in that competition?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're forced to, don't you?
Forced? Were you forced to be in the Premier League?
No, the Premier League's worthwhile because there's loads of money in it. But the FA Cup, the Pochettino would have gone. I don't want to be in this.
Ashamed
Do you remember Man United started all this? They'd rather go in the World Club Championships than go in the FA Cup.
No, you're right. I shouldn't be worried about Brentford. There's other teams in there. There's Man United is still in there. Chelsea's still in there. Man City is still in there. There's loads of teams in there. So who's not in there?
Spurs.
Yeah. So maybe just a bit less.
All
right. Because I tell you what, if we get ourselves to a semi-final, lads, and I'm saying lads because you're in this too.
If you do,
I've never watched football with
I'll be backing you all the way.
I'm looking forward to it. Do you know what's annoying? Actually, Room 69, I've got one, and I like her generally, but Kelly Cates, she's formerly Kelly Dalglish, Kenny Dalglish's daughter. She's a really good broadcaster.
Is she?
Right. Wow, how do you not know her, Flav? Everyone knows her.
That's mad. You know her. You know if you saw her. Anyway, every time I listen to the Football Daily podcast, and every single time she's on it and it's the FA Cup, the first sentence that comes out of their mouth is about the magic of the FA Cup. Look, of course it's there. If it's there, stop going on about it.
What do you mean? She hasn't got anything else?
You're
doing this.
She's a liar. She's a liar. Is what I'm saying.
Why?
She's a liar because if she didn't want to keep going on about the magic of the FA Cup. Just go into a 20-minute report on Queen's Park Rangers' great win against Portsmouth. The replay. It's a great story there.
Instead of peddling the same story.
Instead of just keep going on about the magic. It's like going. I don't know. It's hiding some. I don't know what she's doing. It's annoying.
Should you really be? It's quite sensitive what you're doing at the moment. Criticising a female journalist.
More of that later in the new segment.
You're part of the problem. Yeah.
I'm not part of the problem.
Racist now. What is it? Misogynist.
Stop this. Yeah. Maybe just screenshots. No captions either. Where else we got? Brighton versus Burnley, which is the get in the box derby. What was that?
That was a dog.
Rona McGinley with that one, which I think is a bit harsh on Brighton. Play good stuff. Huddersfield versus Arsenal. Is it the manager or the squad that's not up to it? David.
That's good.
Good. From Brian Gitsham. Is it the squad or is it the manager, Flav? For Arsenal and Huddersfield.
Huddersfield is definitely the squad and the manager.
They've been at 2 games.
They're down. But with Arsenal, I think it's fair to give Emery as much time as possible. There's the foundations of a good squad, especially going forward. The defence, despite him bringing in 2 of those defenders in Socrates and Lichtsteiner, it isn't up for it. Lichtsteiner's he's not good enough. Essentially, he might be good in the squad player, play League Cup, Europa League games, that kind of stuff. But given the fact that Bellerin's been injured and he's now the starting right back, it is a massive loss for them. And he has to take part of the responsibility for that defence because he did make those signings. But each transfer window, you'd assume that he'd be aiming to improve. Whether he can or not is when you can judge him.
He's only going to have 45 million to spend. Only 45 million. Games changed.
45 million war chest.
War chest, yeah. Mooted that.
That's understandable, given the amount of money that they've invested in wages.
If you want a quick answer on that question from me, it's the squad. I said that at the start of the season. I like Emery. Crystal Palace versus West Ham.
Quickly with the fact that people say that Arsenal don't spend. Football fans do is they reduce the way a club spends its money to purely looking at a headline transfer fee in a newspaper. We haven't spent a huge amount of money on a player because we don't have any money. They're spending 350 grand on Ozil every week over the space of the next 5 seasons or however long his contract lasts. They have to completely plan and balance the books based on the amount of money they're spending on transfers. So they can't now then just dump £100 million in the transfer when they need money in the place to pay their players and stay as a profitable football club.
If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be really worried about the Ozil thing, because I don't see how that's just going to sort of drag him further and further down, because Emery doesn't like him. It's clear he doesn't like him. He'd be playing him.
Yeah, he would.
If he's being paid 350k a week, he would be playing him if he could, right?
He would, yeah.
So he doesn't like him. He's too old for you to sell him, really, unless you take a huge loss. But maybe that's what I think that's the only thing they can do, is sell him quickly. But I don't think you'll get that much for him. And would he even go? Because, I mean, how many opportunities do you have to get 350k a week? You don't get another one. So he wouldn't go, would he?
No, well, he might go, but in Arsenal's ideal world, he would demand a transfer, because that means that they don't have to honour his contract. But he won't do that, because there's, like, as you say, he's picking up that money. Yeah. So what would happen in any transfer away from the club, Arsenal would have to pay off the remainder of his contract, which is a huge amount of money. That would come out directly from whatever fee they got from him. So the most likely thing is that they would end up taking a huge hit on whatever transfer fee they bring in. Now, as you say, how old is he, 30?
Yeah, I think
he's around that age. How much are you really going to get for him? You know, probably if you got £30 million and say fucking 15 million of that has to go and paying off his contract, you're actually getting £15 million with what you can buy. What can you buy for that? So that contract they offered him was madness, but at the time it seemed like a coup. You know, Arsenal fans complaining about Ozil now. He's saying, you know, what are we paying him for? All of them wanted him to sign a new contract, especially after Alexis moved. That's the thing, is that you just give him the money. We don't care about how much he's on. Just give him the money. He's a class player.
But I guess
that directly impacts how much you can spend in a transfer market.
But I guess the thing that Arsenal fans will be screaming at us right now is the fact that Stan Kroenke has a hell of a lot of money, and therefore he's running the club to try and make a profit. And actually, sometimes, like Roman Abramovich has, or whoever has.
Sheikh Mansour.
Sheikh Mansour's different. I know he's like...
No, him and Abramovich can be put together in a group.
Yeah, but these... Sometimes you have to take the loss to keep the club.
Right, yeah, fine. From a fan's perspective, 100%. From Kroenke's perspective, from Daniel Levy's perspective, they don't put their own money in. That's not what they invested in for. They're not there to please the fans. They're there to make good on their their investment. And Daniel, you look at the amount of money Spurs have spent. Zero, essentially. £9 million that we've spent over the last 10 years or something crazy. ENIC have not invested a single penny of their own money. The debt is secured against the club, and the process of which they generate their money is through sale of players, gate receipts and all that kind of stuff. It's completely self-funded. That's the way football clubs are run. They're not for supporters. We follow these clubs and we love them blindly, and they make money off our love of our football clubs, but they don't care about us. They care more about the global market, the syndication of the Premier League, because that brings in infinitely more money. If you want to feel like you really belong to a football club and you're important to them, then forget supporting Spurs or Arsenal or Man United or Man City. Go down the leagues and find another club. That's the only way you can have an actual real identity of who you follow. And can you blame them? I saw a video on Ian Wright's channel, YouTube channel. There's a kid on it from London, and he goes, "Who do you support?" He went, "I support Man City." That's not airplane mode. I support Man City. And he said, "Well, who did you support? Did you always support Man City?" No, last year I supported Arsenal. That's a supporter to the club as much as any other.
Oh yeah, that's Lowski.
Yeah, him. Like, fucking, that's a joke. You ain't a football fan. That's an embarrassment.
That is an embarrassment.
How
old's this kid, by the way? I don't want to hammering him too hard.
He's like 19, but he's like he's a music artist.
All
right, it's just like, you're not a football fan. You play FIFA. You just forget it. Fucking, I'm never gonna have a conversation with someone like that. So the other thing as well is talking about Kroenke and that kind of management. There is an investment style ownership of a football club, and then there is the glory motivated chairman. Now their motives are different. With Sheikh Mansour, he has more money, that group have more money than they could ever spend. It's not about getting more money. It's about building profile and creating something that from their money that gives them something else. So the feeling of the glory mechanism, the feeling of going into Man City and delivering and transforming a football club and raising their status is more valuable to them than the money they have in the bank. They've done that bit. They don't need more.
Yeah.
And with Abramovich, he went to Chelsea and needed to raise his profile because of the risk of because of how he got his money. If you're interested, go on Google Matthew Said, Roman Abramovich, Sky Sports, where he breaks down how Roman Abramovich got his money and why he was so interested in getting a Premier League football club. You can't look. Most football fans can't look at those two as the best way to find glory or a realistic way to find glory in a football club. If you are, you're kind of ignorant.
I think. But I still think that some Arsenal fans, there's a balance between the two. I think you can still kind of, that's part of sport, is that you are going to have to put money in at different times. And for Arsenal, if they want to get back in the Champions League, the longer that they behave the way that they're behaving right now, it's dangerous. I mean, they're a huge club, Arsenal, and they've got a massive ground and all that stuff, so that helps commercially. But there's got to be moments where you do kind of go, right, look, this needs to be done to get you back in the Champions League, because that's the thing that's killing Arsenal as well at the moment. It's Europa League money. It's not they're not taking in Champions League money, and so that affects everything as well.
Yeah. But then, how much do you, as a chairman, how much do you expose yourself then? Because there's no guarantee of getting in the Champions League football. The top six are so strong that it's difficult to get in, and you're gambling. And how much do you gamble? So £45 million for a transfer feels like a logical, calculated risk.
I mean, I wonder if there's been any look from Arsenal to looked at Spurs and gone, yeah, okay, maybe we should be behaving like that a little bit more.
I think a lot of people will be, and I'm not saying Spurs' model is great. It's frustrating. Yeah. It's hard, and you think we're so good. If we had a couple more players, what could we be? It's not easy. Arsenal fans would be going as mental if they had the same situation as they do at Arsenal right now. If it was if they were like opposites. Yeah. So and the other thing is, because they haven't been in the Champions League for the last 2 years, like, where is the money coming from? They don't have an endless supply. All they're asking for is Kroenke to put his own money in. Why would he? That's not the way football clubs are run anymore. And I understand that they say they want to get rid of him. That's fine. Get rid of him. You don't have the power. No one has the power to get rid of him. He owns your football club. He'll do what he wants. It belongs to him, literally. But you get him in. You think that there's going to be some benefactor coming in to spend in the way that Abramovich does? It's not going to happen.
I guess the problem with football now is that there's this element of it's so stretched, because you've got these, you've got Sheikh Mansour right at the top there. It makes everyone else going, well, hang on, they're buying this player and that player. We should be doing the same because we're a big club, and it's actually not. That's not what's right. Actually, what everyone else should be doing is much more. It's much more manageable.
And the thing is that because of financial fair play, it's not possible anymore. So Man City and Chelsea did it before. They were part of the reason why that it even came into play. Most of it was to ensure that smaller clubs don't go into administration, as we saw with seen with Pompey, for example, to protect clubs, and more importantly to protect their fans. I think a lot of people get sort of wound up by financial fair play, that it's going to keep the smaller clubs small and the bigger clubs big, because they can spend what they generate. Whereas actually what happens is they're allowed, if they come up with a business plan, they can spend more than they have in their coffers. They can say, like QPR wanted to start speculating.
There's a limit.
It's 5 years. Yeah. 5 years, and you can spend.
It's like 37 million or something in that period.
Yeah, and so you can speculate if you have a business plan and there's a model where it's not like kind of nefarious spending.
I think what people get frustrated with is that within those means, you see, say QPR, QPR misbehaved. It was very early on. It was in that whole starting point of financial fair play, and we took a risk, thought it would be okay. It wasn't okay. We were rightly punished, and they've taken that and dealt with it. But Chelsea and Man City have broken the rules at different times as well, and there's the punishment's not been there. That's what's so frustrating when you see QPR, and I think Forest have, I think Blackburn have, other teams getting punished. Want it for everyone, the big teams as well, and it always seems like the big teams are able to wriggle out of it.
It's harder for financial fair play to look at a football club like Man City and enforce that, because there are so many revenue streams coming into the football club, and it's much easier, and they can afford good lawyers to find a way of wriggling out of it. But we have seen with PSG with huge fines for them. You have seen the issues with Man City being threatened with Champions League withdrawal, And the threat of that has forced them to behave differently in the transfer market. They're not spending in the way they did before because they've already got that in place.
Because they bought all the players.
Yeah, they have. They've got them already. And, other clubs are not going to be able to do it. You can't fall foul of financial fair play. You will be punished and getting kicked out of the Champions League for a club like Arsenal, Spurs or Chelsea. The risk isn't there. Worth it.
Crystal Palace versus West Ham. It's a London derby.
That's right.
Tom Cash.
It's not a real one now, is it?
Actually, it wasn't Tom Cash.
London derbies aren't real. There's too big a place to have a London derby. It's like North London derby's real. Brentford of QPR, that's real.
Well, QPR, Chelsea. You're thinking Brentford, Fulham. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. That's the. This is inspired by Natural Red, but I've twisted it a little bit. It's the youth player at a premium derby. Bournemouth love a Liverpool player. Solanke they bought.
Klein.
Klein as well is not young, but.
No.
Actually, we'll talk about that in a second as well. I'll just run through these two and then we can talk about Liverpool and Man City.
Okay, just a quick one.
Yeah.
On Brooks, David Brooks. What a player.
Lovely little player.
So he's played like 20 pro games. That's what, 20 odd games as a fully fledged professional. Right. He played like 11 for Sheffield United. Bournemouth thought, oh, he's tasty, this kid. And every time I've seen him play, I'm thinking, this kid is amazing. I want to buy him. I want him to be at Spurs. He'll
get a go in the England squad soon, I think. He's so intelligent.
Yeah.
Such an intelligent footballer.
Yeah, he is.
Another one, Eddie Howe, though, as well. Like, another name, just plucks out of the Championship and go, yep, you're good enough. Right, we'll pay the right money. Chris Mepham, they've just bought as well from Brentford, who's a really, really good player, really good centre-back, who's going to do well for them as well. Right, let me just run through this. Chloe, I like this one. Chloe. Man City versus Chelsea on Sunday. Both men's and women's teams on that fixture on the same day. Just yards apart. Double-header derby, perhaps. Like that.
What?
Learned something. The men's team and the women's team,
yards
both
apart.
Man City and Chelsea are both playing at the same time. Or same day. Mad, isn't it?
Well, maybe they get all the coach go together.
Yeah,
it just seems
save on travel.
Practical.
Yeah. And LWM, Southampton versus Cardiff. That's the south coast of our country derby. 10 years.
So south of Wales and south of England.
Sure.
Liverpool.
Let's talk Liverpool. Bit prickly, innit? Bit tense. Everyone's a bit angry. Actually, quick note from last week. I asked a fantastic question of is Pochettino or Benitez, which one of those is the best manager never to win the Premier League?
And we didn't say Klopp.
We didn't say... So Jack Whitcomb said Klopp's up there with the best managers to never win the Premier League. For now anyway. Let me finish. And Zishan Khan says Sir Bobby Robson could be the best ever manager to have never won the Premier League as well.
Yeah, he was a good manager. The weird that we didn't say Klopp because it's in our heads we're like they're going to win the league this year.
Yeah.
So I think that's
where
it was. I think if you look at them, I think Benitez's resume is better than Klopp's and Pochettino's. So you'd have to say that he's probably achieved more. And then I would put Klopp over Pochettino because of what he's done. He won a league at Dortmund.
Klopp, yeah.
Pretty
two.
sure.
I think he won two.
And got to Champions League final.
I think he's won a cup there as well.
So he's done it, whereas Poch hasn't. But yeah, it's a good shout.
So, thoughts on Liverpool currently? So we got a bit tense. A week ago it was like it's theirs now. Fine, Man City falling apart.
Yeah,
life's good.
The Man City situation, their result though they lost against Newcastle, they didn't really deserve to lose. I don't know. I thought they were good for it, but sometimes football happens, and they lost.
It does happen, doesn't it?
Whereas Liverpool against Palace, that 4-3 win, that was scraped over the line. You think there's alarm bells was conceding 3 goals against Palace at home. Then the very drab performances in the midweek. What was it? Leicester at home, and then West Ham, where they should have lost. So, is it about pressure and energy that's going towards Liverpool from all football fans? Is no one wants you to win this league. Everybody. There was a poll actually after the game, so there was a lot of needle between West Ham and Liverpool around that game, and Liverpool seemed to bring this out. I don't know why. This is just an observation. Liverpool Football Club and their fans seem to bring out this feeling in other fans. So
why do you think that is?
Well, I'll expand on that in a second. But the West Ham account on Twitter, this is how much they hate Liverpool. Is they said, who would you rather win the league, Tottenham or Liverpool? And it was 55% said Spurs.
Wow.
So where is this coming from? And I've obviously I've talked on the podcast many times about my feeling towards Liverpool. I don't like them. I never have. They wind me up something chronic. I've got no problem with them as individual human beings, obviously, but as a football club, they do my head in, right? And they always have, and I've said that. I've been clear with that for a long time. But I thought to myself, after the Millwall video, where they sung that abhorrent shit, bollocks, I'd rather be than a Scouse. I was thinking, where does my feeling come from, and why do I feel this about Liverpool? And I think there is something it goes back to, I think I get rubbed up on the wrong way about Liverpool being the kind of trying to separate themselves from the rest of the country. And I'm not a nationalist in any way, shape or form, but that's like saying we don't want to be a part of what you are. And I feel like that's rubbed me up the wrong way. Like when England played, they didn't, like the fans I spoke to, I remember when Suarez scored against England, when he was a Liverpool player just about to move to Barcelona, they cheered. And I'm like, I was furious at the time because I was gutted. And I'm like, what are you doing? Who are you? What's this about? So I started thinking about it more, and I think it actually goes back, it's quite a political thing. I think it goes back to the times of the strikes where a kind of Thatcherite government forced a complete change in life, huge suffering in areas like Liverpool. And if I would lived there and I and developed a kind of socialist leaning, if I lived there, I would probably think, fuck the rest of you lot, you're fucking us over here. And I think a lot of that is what it comes from, and I appreciate that. I do. And it kind of made me kind of start to think, actually, maybe my feeling about them is probably based on something that isn't very wholesome. But by and large, it's just the arrogance that they think they're going to win the league every year.
So, as someone who's not in that six, as a football fan who's not part of that six, I think that a lot of it is down to the fact that when the horrible thing about Twitter is that there's this sort of like criteria of banter of like it being about trophies or whatever. It's so materialistic. It's not. There's no soul to it as well at all. And I feel like Liverpool as a club is a very romantic club. It's got, it's like with the European nights in recent years. You've seen that fan base has got something, and so I'm quite happy for Liverpool to win the league. I don't see a problem with it. But the one thing that irritates me about Liverpool fans, it's the newer Liverpool fans jumping on the bandwagon of it. Those are the ones I don't like. But saying that, I don't think I'd like that of any.
I think all football clubs will have that.
All football clubs, yeah, exactly. So there's an element of Liverpool fans that annoy me, but it's because of that, and that's not exclusive to Liverpool. It winds me up about all these Chelsea fans who turned up when I was, 9 or 10 or whatever it was. Yeah. When Abramovich turns up and everyone's got the new shirt. Where are all the old shirts?
When I was a kid, everyone was Liverpool fans. Like in London, it was confusing. I was like, why? But then, what I would say, just to give this a positive spin, before everyone fucking lynches us in the comments.
Sure.
Why? Football isn't about being liked. Football's about getting your team, doing as much as you can to ensure that there's some sort of success in your football club. And that might be being loud on the terraces. It might be about the way Liverpool attacked the Man City bus. And no doubt that they were shaken up by that. And I'm not condoning that. I don't think you should be violent or throw bricks at buses. But they didn't give a fuck what anyone else thought about them at that point. It was about that game and doing what was necessary in order to give Liverpool the advantage and creating what was, on that night, one of the best atmospheres I've ever heard in football. I think the Anfield atmosphere is overrated, but at nights like that, there's probably no louder place in England to go and watch football. And all of their energy is focused on what's good for Liverpool. And even if it's at the kind of detriment to the way people think about them, because ultimately, who gives a shit what people think about your football club if you're going to be successful?
Do you know what, the bit that confuses me is this idea that, if they win it, they'll be unbearable because they haven't won it for ages.
No, it's the reason why they'll be unbearable is the way they talk about their football club when they haven't won it. Like if they're that positive and over the top and we're great, we're boss, all that sort of stuff. Now, what are they going to be like when they actually get everything they want?
I think you'd be surprised.
What, you think they're going to be humble?
I think they might be.
Well, we need to all eat our words and apologise if that's the case, but absolutely no fucking chance.
I guess we'll find out soon enough. Jamie Carragher's spoken out, staying on the same line, saying that he's saying Man United have a better squad than Liverpool, and I think we are seeing little signs of this. The right back situation. Klopp's made a big mistake in letting Nathaniel Klein go. I don't understand why he did that. I know there were a couple of injuries after he left, but you don't need to let him go. That is one thing. Like you've got to, when Liverpool are having a little wobble in terms of performances. Okay, not losing many games, but a couple of draws. And look, Man City it looked like they were going to be 7 points off them. It's now going to go right to the wire.
There's two things with that, Jim. Sorry, will you finish your sentence?
No.
Go on.
You have to still be able to go, because I think there is an element of Liverpool being the media darlings a lot of the time. And the reason I think that is because of the romance of that club, romance of those fans, supposedly, and the way that Jurgen Klopp is. He's all action, he's positive, and I know that rubs up some people the wrong way, but I think Klopp's great. But when they are going through these wobbles,
manager.
You need to be able to go, okay, you need to look at it fairly. And Klopp's made a massive mistake there. Huge mistake by letting Klein go. I'm a massive fan of Nathaniel Klein. I think he's a great right back. And you know, the whole problem in previous years is that the squad's not been good enough. And the whole thing that's so crucial, we were talking about last week on the pod, it's so crucial now when you get to January, February, March. These are the crucial periods of the season. This is the crucial period of the season where it is about your squad. Your squad needs to step up then, because you're going to start to get injuries and suspensions and all those things. And so to let Klein go, it's so stupid.
Look, first, it is stupid, but
because you've got Milner playing right back now.
Huh?
You've got Milner playing right back now, so you've now lost two players.
Right, yeah, okay. But if you look from Klopp's perspective, firstly, he probably got a player who wanted to leave because he hasn't played any football this year. No, but it talks about motivation and delivering, that he would take that into account.
That's an easy conversation, though.
Right, but there was no injuries. There's no route into the first team until those happened. So Nathaniel Klein, I'm guessing, was like, I really want to play football. I'm here for a living. I'm sorry, I'm here to kind of progress my career. If I'm not playing, what am I doing here, Klopp?
Okay, you might get a Premier League trophy. I'm paying you a lot of money. You're under contract. Sit down and shut up. That's what I would say to him.
All right, but I wouldn't suggest that as a great man management tool.
Okay, maybe that's harsh, but you can go, look, let's stay with us for 6 months. We could do something really special here. Be a part of that.
Which you won't be a part of.
We will be a part of it, because he's part of the matchday squad. You're going to need your squad.
I admire Nathaniel Klein for going, and because he clearly wants to play. He's gone to a club so much smaller, with so less chance of success, because he wanted to play. Now,
I don't blame Klein, I blame Klopp.
No, I know. But Klopp looking at that situation, has Milner, who's played incredibly wherever he's played on the pitch previously. So he thought, I can rely on Milner. There's also, he bought Fabinho, who at Monaco played in a right back position. So in his head, he's like, I can clear some transfer budget here, or I can clear some wages. I've got two players that can play there. This is going to be fine. As it turns out, in hindsight, which is so much easier to talk about this stuff, in hindsight, it hasn't worked out that way.
If I was Klopp, I would have gone two players in every single position. And if you take Klein away there...
I just said two players.
But he's not an option. But he's not an option to play midfield anymore then. If you
do you know what? Who is the right back that got injured? For life.
So there's Gomez and there's Trent Alexander.
Right, Trent Alexander. That's what I was thinking. Sorry, I just couldn't get the name in mind. Yeah. You've got Gomez as well. So you've got 5 players at the club. I know, but you've got 5 players at the club who can play there. You can understand the reasoning for letting him go.
I just don't think
and Carragher, he's better than this. He would not be saying this he would not be saying this about the squad before Solskjaer went on this incredible run. So he's been completely reactive.
Quick answer then. Do Man United have a better squad than Liverpool?
No, they don't.
I agree. Let us know in the comments below. Man United, do they have a better squad? I think it's the defence.
Good team going forward. Good midfield. Defence doesn't compare.
Yeah, I don't think their midfield gets too close, apart from Pogba does, but apart from that. Right, new bit.
Herrera's been flying as well. But go, yeah, sorry.
New bit ready? On me, Tanvir. It's 3. 3 from the community. People are going to hate that, I think. I went to Twitter. I want to get them involved a bit more.
Oh, good.
Okay, so 3 questions from you lot. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Ball Street on Twitter. Follow Flav on Twitter. And and on the day of the pod, I'll put a tweet out and we can get some
And
talking
the day of the pod is...
Huh?
What day of the pod do we record? Wednesday?
Wednesdays or Thursdays.
That's Wednesdays.
Generally Wednesdays.
I know.
I know. So first one's from Shiv. He says, why are Spurs completely disregarded as title contenders? Not just this season as well. Feels like they always have been. Is it the whole bottle job thing?
Yeah, because that's the media narrative. You know, when Man City got that win at the weekend and Liverpool drew, it was like that we were above them in the league, and they said, "Oh, Man City catch Liverpool, not Man City go back into second." And because, realistically, it'd be very difficult for Spurs to win the league. But
yeah. I think that's
we
actually fair,
are we not challenging for titles? If Man City are, why are we not? We're a point behind them. How can we not be?
I think you've been very impressive in kind of getting over the line, but I think it's.
If we beat Leicester at the weekend,
it's on.
Well, if we beat Leicester at the weekend, then why not? Like, we've got 2 games that will define the season. I think people are looking at that. We have to play Man City away and we have to play Liverpool away.
Yeah.
With Kane, Dele Alli, with our team all back and fit, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility to get results there. So if we get a draw and beat Liverpool and Liverpool beat Man City, then we'd probably be top.
What I'll say is a bit like I think in terms of say people believing in Liverpool going on and winning the league, it was only until in my mind I was like, you need to get to Christmas and be in the hunt, and then I'll believe you. With Spurs, you need to get to March for me to believe that Spurs can do it.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I mean, look, I understand why it is, because nobody's talking about it, so I don't want them to.
Yeah,
I'm fine cracking on, because you've seen the pressure that Liverpool are under, and they do look nervous when they're playing. And I don't know if that's a real thing; it's just an observation.
There is a tension there, but there's also a lot of injuries. Pilks, that's at
There was lots of injuries from West Ham. They had one fit defender. No one's saying, "Oh, how great they are." Liverpool complaining about the amount of injuries there are. West Ham had a load of injuries, and they done you. Well, they should have done you.
Should have done, yeah. The Alex Scott criticism would be a decent topic. I think it's totally undeserved. You know about this?
So this is saying that she's getting a bit of stick for her insight.
She's getting a bit of stick for her punditry, and also Graham Souness was charged with talking over her.
But he does that at half time.
He does it to everyone. I was Graham Souness's runner for about 8 months, and he was an absolute gentleman to every woman that he met.
So he wasn't misogynistic?
No, and that's... So who did we have? Like Charlotte Jackson. Do you remember Charlotte Jackson? Blonde woman. She's married to Chris Coleman. Very pretty woman.
Why is that relevant?
Because some of the pundits would love a little flirt up.
Yeah. I see that
Graham,
actually the way...
Not Graham.
So Martin Yole once did I think it was one of the presenters on Sky, and called her sweetheart during the interview. So, all right, sweetheart, thank you very much.
Is that rude, is it? I guess in a professional setting like that, maybe.
It's mean that he's acknowledged the fact that he's talking to a woman rather than just talking about football, which is
fair point,
possibly an issue.
So there was that. Basically, Alex Scott was talking about a low block, and Graham Souness was like, "What's a low block?" And he was like, "It's when you defend deep with basically a wall of defenders." And he was like, "Oh." Anyway, people will come out and sort of. She's everywhere, to be fair. Alex Scott, she's working very, very hard. She's on Football Focus. Yeah. She's on Sky, and all that. And I might have said this on the podcast before. Within TV now, there needs to be more diversity, and so that's why you're seeing a lot more female pundits on these programs.
Yeah, and that kind
she's done well. So
yeah, that rubs up kind of the old stalwarts of no, I don't want anything to change the wrong way, don't they? Because they see that as positive discrimination, whereas you should be there on merit. My opinion of she's not any. I don't rate her or disrate or kind of what am I looking for? Unrate her, disrate. I don't know what the word is, but
not rate her.
I don't not rate her. I don't feel anything about her really, but I don't listen to her and think she's incredible. But I think she offers as much insight as Jamie Redknapp and
do you know what?
He gets untold stick.
Yeah,
and so does Michael Owen. So this isn't kind of reserved for her, but you can see where it might come from, and people latch onto the fact she's a woman. I think she's okay. I don't kind of. There are some people, like when Gary Neville first came into his punditry, and I used to really enjoy listening to because he could break down tactics in a way that I understood. So, but there's very few that come out and you think these guys are great pundits.
Yeah.
Most of them are just talking heads and get through the segments.
Well, that's why I actually think she's a bit better than those guys, because I think you see with a lot of the female broadcasters, I like Gabby Logan. I think she's much better than Gary Lineker in my opinion. I think she's brilliant because I think often they do the work.
Well, this is the thing actually. When it is about that, and when you look at Gabby Logan, you don't even see the fact that she's a woman. You see that she's
class.
Yeah, a pundit. I think overall everyone needs to just fucking do something much more productive than digging out at Alex Scott on Twitter or whatever. Like, if that's what you're doing, if that's what's getting your goat up, then you're just do something better. Like, there's real shit going on around that you can be angry about. Worrying about the fact
can you give them a few bits? What could they get angry about?
No, I can't. I mean,
Brexit's annoying.
Yeah,
Be fine though, innit? It should be fine.
100% it'll be fine.
Yeah.
What you got to worry about?
I don't know, not much. Well, just is it going to be more expensive when I go on holiday?
There you go.
House prices actually. I'm trying to sell the flat, so if you're interested, Peckham.
But you're not going to starve. And that's when you should actually be worried.
And final one, Fergus O'Connor says, in a scenario where QPR win the cup, because that's possible, is Steve McLaren a better manager than Pochettino? Discuss. I'd love to. I would suggest yes, because he will have won a hell of a lot of trophies as a manager. And what a story that would be if QPR won the FA Cup. Spurs can't win the FA Cup this season because they're out of it. So it's looking tricky for them to win a trophy. Trophies are very important in terms of the criteria of how good a manager is. And therefore, I would suggest that Steve McLaren is a better manager, but by doing that with that group of players. Tanvi, would you agree with that?
I'd agree with that.
Thanks. Someone in the comments last week said, stop shouting.
Yeah.
It's the bit. People like that shit.
Do they? No one never says anything about it.
Yeah,
I've never seen one comment where I go, I love it when James goes, who am I?
I've seen it.
I've seen a lot of people talking about their ears. No one ever says.
Yeah, well, maybe sort the audio out, Tanvi.
Yeah, you should dip the audio there. Yeah, you got one job.
Yeah.
Last week we asked you, Danny Welbeck became the 6th Englishman to score a hat-trick in the Champions League. Name the previous 5. The answers were Mike Newell. Remember him?
Yeah, got a Blackburn forward.
Speaking of which, he was misogynist, wasn't he, to a female linesman? Andy Cole,
Oh,
Michael
yeah, as
Owen.
a manager, wasn't
Yeah, he was at Luton. Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney. This week on Who Am I? Between 2003 and 2017, I won 10 domestic league titles across 4 countries. I also won the Champions League at the age of 29. I retired from international football in 2017, having won 98 caps for my country and represented them at 7 major tournaments.
No, did Craig get it?
Didn't ask him, actually.
Oh.
Right, Footballers Wangs time. Now, this is interesting.
Do the song.
Footballers Wangs can happen to you. Look at James, I saw tells. Occasionally it happens, but you know you gotta be strong. Whoa. This is a very important comment. I could have left this out of the podcast, but I haven't, because I agree with a lot that's said here.
And this is when people out in the wilderness have seen...
In the wilderness?
Yeah, I've seen...
I just imagine like some guy in a forest, with black stripes on his cheeks. There's one!
Where they accidentally see a...
that's a mushroom.
They accidentally see the peen of professional footballers or ex-professional footballers.
Yeah.
And then describe it.
Okay. So R Coins says this. I've deliberated over sending this comment for a couple of weeks. But I do worry #FootballersWangs has gone too far.
All right.
In the new year, I found myself going to the gym, brackets new year, new me, and decided to treat myself to a few minutes in the sauna afterwards. There I was minding my own business, and then none other than Jake Livermore decided to join me in there, of West Brom fame. Now, I want to make clear that I didn't see Jake's wang while I was in there. But the fact that I spent my whole time in the sauna wondering whether I'd get to see his piece so that I could comment it on a YouTube video led me to reevaluate a few things. I may have to withdraw myself from footballers' wangs in future.
That's incredible.
As I don't like what it has done to me. P.S. I saw Jermaine Genius in the same gym, so I guess it's where average Spurs midfielders go to die. Now, I think there's a lot of good points there. I spoke about touching it last week, that I don't want to be known for this. I feel like it's getting out of hand. And I feel like we need a breather.
Have we got any others there?
No.
Oh. Well, look, if they dry up, they dry up.
Regardless, I feel like we need just to put, we need to pull out.
Like, I think it's down to the community, really, because they're the boss, really. So let us know in the comments below, #WangIn or #WangOut. And we'll count them
It's
up.
a real gift you've got there, Flav. You're very good at it.
If you want the Footballers Wangs to stay in the podcast, then let us know in the comments below. If you don't, #WangOut.
Because, yeah, I mean, there is a bit of, we talk about everything. We talk about the football, but we sometimes talk about sex, we talk about all sorts. And I want to kind of...
I do love that there is something incredible. And understand, you want to kind of, you don't want to be just known for the podcast that talks about the penises of professional footballers or ex-professional footballers.
Yeah.
Understand that. But where I'm going with my career, it doesn't matter. Where you're going with your career.
That is a huge part of this.
Right, understand.
I'd like to have a career.
But to just for this guy, just to be in this sauna thinking, oh, I've got to look, because I've got to leave a comment on YouTube.
Do you know what it's like? It's like a note. It's like your phone. You know when you just grab your phone.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've grabbed your phone. It's because you've become like addicted to it. It's like a trigger, and the triggers
Looking at penises.
the possibility of a wang.
All right, wang in, wang out. Let us know.
That said, #didn't happen. Quick one this week. Talking about last week. So again, go listen or watch the back catalogue of One for the Weekend, because there's lots for you, not just a preview to the weekend's action. Shargan99 says #didn't happen. Tanvir getting head whilst playing Xbox. Last week we were talking about all sorts, really.
Yeah,
Tanvir claimed, and Breeder Lisp, he says definitely not. And there were 28 likes on this, so I think they've spoken for it.
The people just don't like me.
Tanvir, did it or didn't it happen?
Did happen. I was playing Call of Duty.
That's an easy detail. Give me a detail that you couldn't, you know, like a murderer knows the specific weird details. Give me a weird detail.
How long did it last?
One game of free-for-all.
How long is
How
that?
long's that? What that means?
Like 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Fucking hell. Joel must have been killing. Well, shouldn't you have shown her?
Yeah, she was fun.
Yeah.
No, she was.
Yeah.
She was like.
It's like sucking on a straw. What?
It was more of like a teasing thing. So like where I wanted to stop, she was like, "Carry on."
She was like, "Carry on."
Yeah.
She was like, "Should I put the?" You're like playing on the game, and she's gone. And
No,
you're going,
and
"Should I put this
obviously
down?"
I wanted to put the controller down and just do other things, but
And
she was like,
"No, crack on."
"No, carry on."
Shouldn't you have shown her a bit more respect?
Yeah.
Mate, I was in like year 11 or something. What do you want?
No, I don't want to imagine it.
Imagine he's unkept man garden. Just fucking hair everywhere.
I defo have a kept
Dense.
garden.
Do you ever kept you manscape?
Yeah.
What?
Like iron wool.
What's your What's your just this bush with just this little mushroom poking out.
Over the last couple of weeks,
did you have a beard when you was at school?
Yeah.
I bet you had one of those horrible little
Just a
moustaches,
Just
like
a
fluffy
moustache.
moustache. Yeah, I bet you did. Niche rules. Do you remember the last couple of weeks? You had a couple of niche rules popping out.
Yeah, I like
So
this.
yeah, we had a couple, and these was good.
So one of the ones is if what was it about the corner?
It was about it was the corner flags was one.
Corner
No,
flags
it
is
was
if
if
you
the
want
goalkeeper kicks into his
Yeah.
own net
from a place
you get
kick.
a corner.
Then it is you get a corner, that is class.
That
That
is
really
is
good.
it definitely true?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere else.
That's amazing.
So-
Give us another niche rule.
I've got a few actually.
Oh,
So
amazing.
first one for you guys. So if you see any niche rules that you can share with us, then that would be great. And a few people have. First of all, goalkeepers have to bounce the ball after 6 seconds. So you know when people are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because the goalkeeper's not kicking yet.
You can bounce.
As long as he bounces it, it's fine. Because that's
What-
releasing the ball.
Right.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but it just make him kick for 6 seconds. Like, why does he have to?
Then you'd be a bit. Then all that shit would be going on again.
But it would speed the game up. You can deal with that.
That's true. So that is one rule though. Second one, a defender can be in the box for a goal kick but they must not receive the ball.
Why would they be in boxing?
I don't know, but they can be if they want it. You know when people like they just line up outside it? That's nonsense.
During a goal kick or a penalty?
Goal kick.
All right. Is that... Yeah.
Okay. And last two, Paul Singh. I've got a weird rule for you guys, and it's actually true. I don't know if this is true. Goalkeepers are allowed to wear long sleeves. However, if they roll up their sleeves, they are given a yellow card.
Why?
So if you have you ever seen that though? Do you know the name that came into my mind? It shows how old I am. Lionel Perez. Do you remember him?
Yeah, but he just had short, like he had a t-shirt.
Nah, I swear he had them like rolled up.
Who's Lionel Perez?
Lionel Perez was he's
got free kicks.
No, he's quite a short goalkeeper for Sunderland. You're thinking of Chilever.
No, I was also thinking of Campos.
Campos, yeah, he kind of rolled. Yeah,
and he was short as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had do you remember that football kit that he designed?
Naughty.
The worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know that. I can't remember ever seeing a goalkeeper.
Is there some kind of advantage that they've decided that you get from that?
I don't know.
Strange.
Maybe it's just like you're fucking about with a kit and that's not allowed. There's also, do you remember goalkeepers during the 90s and early 2000s that wore tracksuit bottoms?
Dimitri
Karine of Chelsea.
Corrali, Crystal Palace, but that was probably in the
but they weren't like stylish Nike tapered, like that look the part, that's a part of the kit. They were like literally grey jogging bottoms that you buy from fucking Matalan. Legends.
What's your point?
They just look ridiculous.
Right. Leroy 357. Hashtag niche football facts. So if you've got some niche football facts, hashtag niche football facts. Swindon Town is the only team in the English Football League not to share a letter with the word mackerel.
What?
Swindon Town is the only team in the English Football League not to share a letter with the word mackerel. Mad, isn't it?
So the word mackerel, every team in the English league
has one letter.
Has one letter from that word.
Yeah.
And Swindon Town.
Who figured that out? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I can get a life.
Yeah. Find a way. Here we go. Nice and quick. Harry Hancock. He found a way. Hi everyone, just checking in. Found a way one day. Forest Green away with Grimsby Town last day of the 17-18 season after staying up against Notts County the week before. During the huge journey and a couple of stops on the couch, a fair few beverages were consumed. After arriving, I purchased another beer, a local pint from the area, brackets 8 out of 10 if for anyone wondering. Due to the rather large amount of beverages I had consumed, I wasn't allowed in the away end with 700 odd travelling mariners. Disaster! Despite many attempts, including a change of clothes with my mate who was with me, and asking the bloke I sat near on the coach to be my dad, nothing worked. Do you know, in my head, the two mates, they're both just wearing like a coat, both navy coats, black jeans, both wearing the exact same thing. We thought that might work because they're hammered. Nothing worked. In beaming hot countryside sunshine, I am desperate to find a place to watch the game. A hill on a farm is spotted in the background, and I, by myself, trek up the steep hill to get to the top. Bingo. I've got a view of the game. Admittedly, a few trees in the way, but generally a good view. At half-time, I make my way down to where the Forest Green fans are outside having a fag. I see an opportunity to pull my stub off my ticket and attempt to show my ticket and slip past the stewards into the home end. And I did. May not be the most extravagant find a way, but I still found a way. Well done.
Good. I like the fact that Forest Green fans would just go outside for a fag at half time.
Yeah.
That's my take home from that.
Simple. Right. Flames of Ice and a quick trip to Don't Move, if that's the thing.
So Football Wangs all right, but don't carry on the don't move.
Well, for now.
All right.
For now. Hashtag Don't Move is a new movement that Flav brought up a couple of weeks ago, where you're having sex with someone and you're struggling to
maintain.
Yeah. And
to keep the wall from the door.
Yeah. And so therefore you will sometimes go, don't move.
Don't move.
So first of all, I like this. Maria Williams, a lady, which is nice. We don't have enough ladies. Emily Mortimer's another one. She always comments.
There was another one. Dottie.
There's a girl called Rosie as well, I think. Well, I don't.
Nyla hasn't come in for a while. She's still in. Nyla, if you're still there, let us know. Check in.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I listen for the sex chat or the football.
Hell yeah.
Also, a small minority of women listening I'm also a small minority of the women listening. The whole "don't move" thing actually made me really laugh.
Because it resonates with everybody.
So next time she has sex and the guy says, "Don't move, don't move," she's going to
crack
burst
up.
out laughing.
Yeah, but
Horrible.
also, like, don't move. Like, do the right thing, don't move.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, we've all had a laugh.
Yeah,
No, seriously, don't fucking move.
Stop moving. Because it's hard, isn't it? But it won't be for a long time.
And if you want it to stay hard.
Yeah.
Right, this is amazing. Tom Cash said, hashtag please don't move. And I've put this at the end of the podcast. So it's
do you want to say his name? Like, should you say his name?
Oh, his name's there. Tom Cash he's in the comments every week. He's an absolute
I know,
OG.
ledge. Absolute ledge.
Good guy. So yeah, I've hidden this at the end of the podcast for you guys. So for those of you who've listened right to the end, thank you, because you get this. Hashtag please don't move. Was once receiving, I've got to say all the words, okay?
Yeah.
I was once receiving head from a girl for the first time. And so it's the first time I'd ever had head. For the first time, and the years of porn and anticipation of a girl to actually give me head led me to be basically ready to blow it after like 15 seconds of it. And I went stop as we hadn't even had time to shag yet, but she didn't. And sure enough, 5 seconds later, I blew it. And followed by a comment that will haunt me to my grave. She said, already? Which I wanted to reply, that I told you to stop and you didn't. But just zipped my trousers up and went to bed. I like to assure you lads that I can now last a reasonable time while a girl is doing head. But still the word already haunts me every time a girl goes down.
Just etched.
Poor guy. Some advice from the comment section, from another comment. Angus Doughty Eyeboy, something like that. Hashtag please don't move. Going in early doors with, the first one will be a write-off. Start judging me by my performance from the second session onwards. That's what he does.
That's a fair comment, because all blokes, unless you're some sort of stallion like Tanvir, at the
No,
beginning...
even my first time was a total write-off.
Yeah, it's so exciting. and there's so much build-up.
It's a realisation of a dream, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, all my dreams are coming true. And the vast majority of people, that dream will come true for you.
Yeah.
And when you do it, it's, what I would say, a bit of good advice. Look, and when you're that young, blowing your load once, it's not a big issue. You wait 10 minutes and you're ready to go again. Now, I'm done for a week.
Yeah.
But
for our American listeners and watchers, the analogy I would use is that at the Super Bowl, you had Jared Goff and Tom Brady. Tom Brady had been there, he'd done it. He was in his 9th Super Bowl. And he was able to deal with the pressure. Jared Goff, 24 years old, was in his first one. And the occasion was too big for him.
What happened?
And that's what, he blew it.
Yeah. But it'll come again.
But he'll be back.
He will come
He'll get
again.
11 other go. He'll come again.
Yeah, that girl, I mean...
seriously, don't.
She's... she shouldn't have said that to you, because that's crushing, but she's young, she probably didn't know, but I presume she's young.
Already? That's so harsh.
Yeah. I don't do what I did, where the girl I lost my virginity to, I told her that I'd slept with 2 women.
Had you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because,
why would you do that?
Because I was young and stupid and thought that that's what she wanted to hear. But obviously when it came to the deed, it didn't last very long, and she went, like, she didn't say anything, God bless her, but she then later told me that she went to her friend and she went, he said he slept with 2 people.
Already?
That lasted 30 seconds. Wow. So don't do what I do, don't lie, just be honest and say, look, it's my first time, if you're going to go down on me, I am going to blow my load very quickly.
And a lad I went to school with, who will remain nameless, he was about to, it was the moment. It wasn't just going to be a blowjob. It was going to be
The whole thing,
hog.
the whole shebang.
And he was excited about that. And so the girl got a condom, safety first always, and took the condom out, went to put it on, literally got to the tip of it, and just went,
Really? That is ridiculous.
But an hour later, like you say, Flav,
He went to go again.
Yeah, he went again.
And she probably wasn't an arsehole about it.
No.
Who found out about
She did say she did say something to someone, which I don't think is appropriate for this podcast. But
Right.
I'll tell you after.
Right.
Right, Flames advice is a quick one. It's one sentence, as I teased earlier in the podcast, but it did catch my eye. So hashtag Flames advice, hashtag please help. Nathan Carter. Had my first kiss the other day. That's nice, isn't it?
Again, do you want his name on it?
I don't know. Let me know if you don't want me to say names in the future.
I mean, it doesn't matter to them, do
No,
it?
true.
Right.
We're a family.
I know, but there are thousands of people watching this.
So Nathan Carter, he said, had my first kiss the other day.
Good.
Great news.
Yeah, great.
And I got so excited, I got a nosebleed.
What?
She hasn't spoken to me since. What do I do?
Hang on, you can get a nosebleed by getting excited. Well,
So, was that running whilst you were kissing?
yeah, did she get blood all over her face? Like, the chances are that she's as embarrassed about it as you are, and that's probably what's preventing you from talking. So I would say...
Maybe she didn't realise. Imagine if she didn't realise and it was her first kiss, and like her friends were like, what was it like? She tasted like iron.
Copper.
You have good breath.
Kind of like
Tasted
coppery.
like copper.
Yeah, that's what he needs to hear right now.
Yeah, this isn't helping.
That isn't helping.
Hey, well, there's my advice. Laugh at it first.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine, mate. These are all great stories. Do you know what I mean? When these things happen to you, it's a great story.
Yeah, you turn it into a positive. But I think the likelihood is that she's probably feeling as embarrassed as you are about it, and she feels awkward about it, and the longer it goes on, it'll become a bigger issue that isn't really there currently. So go and just go and talk to her and say, what the fuck's the deal? I just kissed you and you ain't spoke to me for a week. What's going on?
To be fair, he comes across probably a bit younger,
Yes.
so it's not that big of a deal.
All right, well, don't say, yeah, but
What
to
do you
him it's
think
a
that-
big deal.
What would you
No,
do, Tanvir?
I'm just saying, like, it's probably not as big of a deal as he thinks it is. He
No,
should-
absolutely.
Imagine you're 35.
Wow.
In that case, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I would say this. These things happen. If you can laugh at it, that will totally just get rid of the awkwardness. And also, as a general rule, always attack awkwardness.
What do you mean by attack?
Attack.
In an awkward situation where you're meeting new people, go up and be confident. Say hello. Attack that awkwardness. Okay?
Yeah.
If you've had a weird moment, go like, yeah, sorry about the nosebleed. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Laugh about it. Shouldn't happen again, but I can't promise anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
attack the awkwardness.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you attack the awkwardness, then she'll go, oh, okay, there's nothing to be awkward about. Puts her at ease.
Yeah.
Puts you at ease.
That's
and I think
great
if you
advice.
have that as your mindset going into it, that you're not gonna tolerate awkwardness, then again, it will evaporate.
And having a positive attitude and,
Could you get
and being confident is such a kind of... people become drawn to you. And I'm not saying that's happened to me, but I've witnessed, like, I've got one of my brothers is the most, I mean, he's settled down with wife and kids now, but we're in our heyday when we was out slaying.
Sure.
Slaying.
He's one of the most confident people I've ever met, and he just radiated it, and people were drawn to him. Everybody talked about like how much they loved him, even if he was a little bit of a wrong one. But especially women. And he didn't like. He was a good-looking bloke, but the fact that he had so much patter and so much confidence, he was just drawn. Like there was one time where we were at a. Should I say this? We were at a boxing match. This is many years ago. We went to a boxing fight, and there were. As is like kind of very alpha male kind of environment boxing, and it's men beating the shit out of each other.
I love boxing.
Yeah, and there was Spearmint Rhino girls going around, just handing out leaflets and vouchers and shit for dancing.
All right, yeah.
And
They're very confident, aren't they?
yeah, well, my brother said, I bet I can get the number. Like any one of them, pick them. They're obviously, because they're strippers, they're stunning to look at. And it's like, I know you can. You don't have to do this. You don't have to prove this. He goes, yeah. And like literally within 2 minutes, because of his confidence and power, he got it. And the moral of this story is that people want to be around and are drawn to people that feel confident and exude, because it makes them feel
Puts them
confident
at
and
ease,
comfortable. So as long as you're not lechy and like a bit weird with
Yeah.
it, you go up to this girl. I got to try and go up to her and just say like exactly what you said. Oh, sorry about nosebleed. Not sure. Hope it don't happen again. Can't promise anything. And then it resolves all the problem.
And failing that, maybe like little bits of tissue.
Yeah.
Block it up.
I don't know.
Might lower your voice as well if you are really young. Make you seem a bit more manly.
Don't-
Speaking from someone who was like 16 and still his voice hadn't broken. So
Is that right?
yeah, it sounds just like that.
Well, how did you feel? Was it difficult?
Frustrated.
So when's it gonna grow?
Oh mate, I mean the pube thing. Jeez,
When
what
did
a
you-
relief.
How old was you when you first noticed pubes?
I think I was pretty old.
Pretty.
What, like
25, 26?
No,
No way.
no.
Calm down.
Uh,
I don't know, I would say about 14, 15.
I mean that happens, doesn't it? I remember I was about 13, I think, but I remember looking down and seeing the first one and going,
Oh, honestly, I remember exactly the moment.
and it was blonde.
Was yours blonde? Lovely. Didn't need that. What a perfect way to end the podcast. Good luck, Nathan. Really need to stop saying your name. But there's nothing to worry about, actually. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's
Really isn't a big deal.
You're cool. It's all gonna be fine.
If you need some Flames advice, or more importantly, if you can help me out with the running order for the other bits with great comments like you always do, that would be really, really helpful. Hit the like button. Do that now. This is the checklist, okay? Firstly, watch the whole thing. Secondly, subscribe to Ball Street. Thirdly, like this one. Fourthly, shitload of comments.
And
Fifthly, iTunes, isn't it? Subscribe on that.
yeah, have we got any more reviews on iTunes?
We had one, but it was saying, "Oh, this is better to watch than to listen to," which is no. But it was actually saying it was a joke because he was saying, "Oh, when I listen, I don't get to see the footballers' wangs." So I think this guy thinks that we're actually like, it's number. Here he comes up a catwalk and it's just a cock. Like, we don't have pictures of these wangs, just to be clear. But yeah, do all those for us. It's always very, very helpful. And one day we'll do a live show.